Hello my friends, I hope you're doing well. Dom here, and in this video I'm going to show you my favorite mastering EQs, the top 10 EQs that I use for mastering. And these are plugins that you should know about because they will do wonders on your master bus. So grab yourselves a cup of tea or coffee and let's check them out. So, to begin with, I want to say straight away, in this video I'm not going to include any EQs that I use for mixing. These are going to be mastering specific EQs. And what makes a mastering EQ a mastering EQ? In general, a mastering EQ is especially good with broader strokes. So you might still need some surgical EQ for mastering, and I'm going to show you some of these as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to run these EQs through the same material, and I'm going to let you appreciate what kind of sonic qualities each EQ has to offer. These plugins sound very, very different, so I'm not going to try and replicate settings for these EQs. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you how I use them and what are the gestures that I generally do when I master with these EQs, what kind of frequencies I would touch, what kind of boosting I would add for any one of these EQs. So I want you to close your eyes and listen to how they sound when I boost and how each one of these EQs react, so that you can make your decision about which one might be right for your music. The first EQ is the Dangerous Bass EQ Master from Plugin Alliance. Let's listen to it. So as you can hear, it sounds lush, it's very, very smooth and beautiful. It has a low shelf, a high shelf, and two filters, but it can also turn into an MS EQ, which is great. Now, when it comes to high shelf and low shelf filters, these are really important for mastering because by default, you know, in their nature, they're broad strokes. So you need to have a nice, good quality, high shelf and low shelf EQ. And I think this EQ is really suited for mastering because you can't really make it sound bad. You can't really destroy a mix by using this EQ on the master bus. I mean, of course, you can go over the top, but in general, it's quite safe. It's very sweet and very broad, and it sounds really lovely. Let me show you the next plugin. This is the Pulsar Massive, and this is a new addition to my collection, and I'm a huge fan of this plugin because I was always looking for a massive passive emulation for a mastering EQ, and this is exactly this, and it sounds amazing. I'm going to make a dedicated video about this because I really like this plugin, so if you want me to do a video about this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me show you. Let's play the track. See what it does there? it's so beautiful. The curves are so musical. And I want to make it clear I'm going a little bit over the top with this video, with these plugins, because I want you to hear how they sound. You know, so I wouldn't go that far in a mastering situation. So, you know, don't think that this is what I would do in a mastering situation, but I want you to hear what the plugin can do, right? Especially when you push it hard, which is where a bad plugin will fall apart. Now, this plugin also has a very, very nice auto gain function, so it will do the auto gain for you. In my opinion, this is not a thing that I would use when mastering, because I'm a strong believer that if you know what you're doing, you don't need to auto gain for an EQ. So it's a good thing to have. The only reason why I would use the auto gain would be for educational reasons, or if you're trying to figure out what's going on with your mastering chain, or if you're evaluating a plugin. So it's really nice that it's there, but I don't want to promote this philosophy because I don't think it's right. So I'm not gonna go and do the same thing for all the other plugins in this video, but this has the auto gain function. And it also has a very nice drive and 2 transformers. Again, like I said, I'm probably going to make a video about this, so I'm not gonna go too deep into all the features. And of course you can turn it into a mess. See how much it opens the mix. It's a beautiful EQ, love it. Now the next EQ is the NIF Soma EQ, and I've made a video about this EQ. I'm gonna link it right here if you're interested to see what makes this EQ so special. But this is the quintessential mastering EQ. Let me play the music through it. So it sounds amazing. Now the next EQ is the Chandler Limited Curve Bender from Softtube. And again, this is, you know, like a granddaddy of mastering EQs. I've used the actual hardware many times in many studios, and it's what defines a mastering EQ. So silky. Let me play it for you. beautiful. I love this EQ and the color that it provides, and I like the fact that it makes the mix sound bigger without adding like tons of gain. Really nice. It can also do mid-side. If you want me to make a review for any one of these plugins, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, if you haven't done so already, because this really helps. Like I said, these videos are not sponsored, so let me know if you want me to make a video about any of these EQs. If I receive quite a few requests, I will do it. The next one is, again, another one from Softtube. This is the Vice EQ, and I've also done a video about this, a very detailed video, so feel free to check it out right here. This is a studio staple, a Mastering Studio staple EQ. It's a digital EQ. It has a dynamic EQ, so it's really, really powerful when it comes to this. It's really surgical if you want it to, and it can also be mid-side. Let me play with it for a second, and let me show you how it sounds. So as you can see, this EQ is very, very surgical. It can be broad, but it also has mid-side. You know, the dynamic mode is really amazing for notching out frequencies, de-essing and all these things. So if you want to know more about this, because it's a deep EQ, check out my video. The next EQ is a big favorite of mine. This is the Rupert Neve Designs Portico 5033. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Rupert Neve Designs gear. I have the Portico channel strip with the EQ, I have the master bus processor, and I think that the sound that a Neve EQ can give you is so musical, and I find that sometimes it's the only EQ that works. Let me show you this EQ again. This is a very sweet EQ. It's very hard to make it sound bad, so let me play the music through it. And what I'm doing for these EQs is, you will notice I'm in general adding instead of cutting, because these are EQs that can give me a nice color. I want to enhance frequencies with these mastering EQs. I don't necessarily want to just being cutting frequencies. If I want to cut frequencies, I'm going to probably do it with a digital style EQ, which I'm gonna show you in a second. But listen to this low end. It's like a dinosaur just stomping. It's a really, really powerful EQ. And again, I've said this many times, not many people know about these plugins, but they're really, really fantastic, the Rupert Neve Designs plugins. The next EQ that I'm going to show you is the classic FabFilter Pro Q3. I mean, I think that everybody knows about this EQ. This EQ actually is one of the EQs that I would use if I wanted to do my first correction, if I need to, in a mastering situation. So I would use this for my surgical cuts, but it's also really nice when you play a little bit with the curves of this EQ. Let me show you. Now this can also be dynamic, it can also be MS, it has so many features as a plugin. I'm gonna link everything down below, but I think this is great if you want the cleanest sounding EQ possible. Very similar to the Vice EQ from Softube, but with this EQ, I think the only difference is you have to kind of know what you're doing, because it has everything. You can create any kind of curve you want. You can just take the shape and turn it into a flat tilt shape. I mean, you can also turn the bell like this. It has features that I think give you a lot of flexibility. It's still going to sound clean, but you really need to know what you're doing, because if you start just notching things out, like I've seen many people do this, you know, and they do this on their master bus, and this, in general, it doesn't sound good. You should know exactly what you're doing when you do something like this on your master bus. The reason why most of my mastering EQs here have the curves that are suited to mastering is that very specific reason, because they allow you to get the job done quicker, and they give you a sound straight away. So I know what to expect from each one of these EQs, where this gives me the ultimate flexibility, but I really have to work on my curves. If I want something to be like this, for example, or if I want a curve that's like this, you know, I need to design it myself and save a preset, or you can use one of the presets. So I'd like to know what kind of curve each EQ will give me for any given type of situation. So I'm going to reach for the curve bender for some cases, or for some other cases I'm going to reach out for the pulsar massive, and so on and so forth. Now the next mastering EQ is the PSP Master Q2. Again, lovely EQ. This gives you a lot of character because it also has this character and analog circuit here. You can also give you a little bit of width. And it also has a very nice limiter section here where you have different flavors like vintage limiter, soft limiter, hard limiter, and so on and so forth. So if you push it, it can also give you a sound. I don't tend to use this section so much, but I really like the overall sound of this EQ. So if you add the limiter, you can get away with some really drastic EQ settings. Again, I wouldn't do this on a mastering situation, but it's good that, you know, this can incorporate some flavor. The next one is a plugin from Kush. This is the Hammer EQ. Again, I've been using this for ages. Let me show you how it sounds. Again, I like this EQ for its mid-range. I think it has a very nice sound when it comes to the mid-range if I want to bring some vocals up, and the top end is really nice as well. You see a pattern. You can't go wrong with any one of these plugins that I'm going to show you today, and the next plugin that I want to show you, I've already made a video about this. I find this exceptional. It's a very different plugin to everything else, and this is the Golfus EQ Master. This is the mastering version of that EQ, which gives you the ultimate quality when it comes to EQ. This EQ is based on AI, so basically you just run the material through it and it will figure out if there are frequencies that it needs to tame or frequencies that it needs to enhance, and it does this in real time. And this I use as a starting point for my master. It's not going to be too drastic ever, but it will give you a very nice kind of balanced sound to begin with, and you can build on this. It gives more separation to the instruments. I think it's a great tool to have in your arsenal. I've made a video about this. If you're interested, check it out. It's going to answer a lot of questions that you might have. So my friends, I hope this video helps you understand what each of these mastering EQs sounds like and what they can offer when it comes to sonic qualities. In the comments down below, let me know which one did you like the most, which one do you already own and how you use it, and which one you might be planning to get into your plugin toolbox. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and liked the video, and if you want to support the channel, use the links below for the plugins, or check out my instruments here, or you can get one of these beautiful hoodies. I'm gonna have links down below. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!